but I promise y'all, it's somewhat for a good reason. Okay, I had to put my battery saver on for y'all because I'm not on my regular phone. I'm on my other phone. But get in here, tell everybody that the bar is open and Henny is about to pour it up. Let me go ahead and let me send this out to where I need to send this out to so that I can put out the hootie hoo for my peoples too. All right? Because a lot of y'all be telling me y'all ain't getting these notifications going on and I don't know what's happening. So we got to get the people in here. We got to get the people in here, okay? Because baby, finally, Jane is done from being on the stand. And child, I want to go into a parade. Listen. Can y'all hear me good? Please tell me that y'all can hear me good because I don't feel like pulling out the mics and all that other stuff. Please tell me that y'all hear me good, see me good, all of that. Baby, the mascara is, not mascara, the eyeliner is running and everything, okay? It's been a day. The day has dayed in court. It was more redundance when we got in there. It was the redundance of everything, okay? It was more of the same, asking about the same dates over and over again. I was gonna go a different way, but I guess that I will take y'all down the road. We can mosey on down the road and get to our spot that we go to where everybody is not and get all of this hot Henny poured out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. Salute to y'all. I did get the inboxes. People were inboxing. People were hitting up. Henny, where you at? Where is Henny? We have not seen Henny. I did not do that girl Henny. Yeah. I didn't do my morning riding, and then this afternoon I just gave y'all a brief little synopsis of things. But baby, when I tell y'all that today, when the defense finally rested, everybody was like, thank you, because we were done. But there was a bombshell that happened when the prosecution stepped back up to the bat. Baby, they rocked Jane's world, and she did not recover from that. She looked at that judge and was like, when she was dismissed from getting up off of the witness stand, Diddy, at one point he was smiling. It was a lot, okay? It was a lot that went on. Y'all just bear with me because we are almost to the spot. We are almost to the spot. By the time I get there, there should be more people in here. Y'all double tap that screen. Make sure y'all get them likes up. And let's get to it, okay? I hope everybody had a great day today and y'all are ready for this spill. Whew, it's a lot. I don't know how long I'm gonna be sitting here, but I'm gonna give it to y'all. Even though I really don't feel like, there's a lot that I need to give to y'all because we've already talked about it. Hey, thank you for the sticker. Wait, what happened? All I saw was a no. Let me see what had happened was. She went from no brew to no boo. I don't know. Listen, I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. But I think all of us feel the same damn way. I have told y'all that if I hear I did it for my lover one more again, I'm gonna lose my ish, okay? And actually, I can't say she went to Nobu because she's still getting paid, okay? She's still collecting coins. Regardless of how you feel, she's still getting a coins, okay? Bills paid, okay? Love contracts, separation agreements. Diddy asking her what she needs, how much does she need, what is it gonna cost him for them to separate and go their separate ways? Your mama Igor, and you are up out of here, bye. Bye. See you a little later. Yes, she is still in love with him. That lady is up underneath the spell. So I already talked to y'all about the celebrity. Baby, this is going to be like a Groundhog Day for y'all. I hope. Look, I can't even tell what day is what day. Okay, that was the night. That I don't even know. That was a text message. All right, where we at? I'm trying to scroll back so that I can roll this beautiful being footage. Okay, here we go. June 11th. Okay. That was yesterday. We gonna get to it, y'all. See, this is what I'm saying. Yesterday's notes look like today's notes, honey. Yesterday's notes look like today's notes. They brought back up that damn Turks and Caicos vacation. I don't even want to go to Turks. Keep me away from Turks. Don't nobody say Turks to me at all. I don't even want to try Turkish food. How about that? That's how over it I am. You can't tell what day it is. What day? What are you doing? Aunt B, clearly you must be doing here. But let me explain something to you and for everybody who's like you in the back. Okay, first of all, the day is the same day and the same day and the same day and the same day. Okay? Anyway. So I already told y'all about what was going on when they had that little kerfuffle. That was the explosive part of the morning. After that, Jane remained on cross-examination with Teeny Garagos, and it was, please, somebody please get Carisha. Carisha, please, we need you, because this was boring. Okay, it was boring. All right, so Teeny starts bringing up text messages and photos again, and I swear I wanted to rip every last one of my locks out, and I was going to come out of there patchy, okay? I was going to be a patchy female coming out of that freaking courtroom. Do you hear me? So they started with the October 21st, 2023, and I get what Teeny was trying to do. She was trying to show that Jane was not coerced, that there was times when she was in on it. There was times when she got time with Diddy, but the time that she got when she was with Diddy, it was still under the guise of getting a hotel, like having a hotel night. Like she would think that she's going over there and they was going to spend some time, and they end up doing them. Now, there were times that did not happen, but baby, I'm going to let y'all know. Diddy, baby, you a piece of work, honey. You a piece of work, honey. All right, so got into some of the conversations that they were having about, her birthday. And that she got to spend her birthday with him. Oh, no, his birthday. For his birthday, Teeny was focusing in on, and this is from the gate, she was focusing in on how, if you didn't want to be a part of these hotel nights or whatever, you bought him a portable TV, okay? So that he could watch these corn movies or their homemade movies for his movie nights. Like he could just walk around and he could watch them, okay? Who's reporting the live, baby? Media 123, who's reporting the live? Oh, the mods, they doing what they doing over here, all right? Now, she went back into the whole situation of Diddy having his birthday. Like, she bought him this portable TV for his birthday. And in turn, Diddy went to London and he took Carisha with him to London, okay? Jane was upset. And Jane said that she saw, Jane saw the Cassie lawsuit, and then she saw the settlement. Like, this is what they was trying to say. Like, this is all the stuff that they were saying in there about all of this, okay? She saw the settlement. And then on November 19th of 2023, she spoke with Diddy, and Jane wanted to take a break, okay? After all of this stuff that happened, she was like, look, the London birthday, the Cassie lawsuit, the Cassie settlement, the media firestorm is what they were calling it inside of the courtroom. The firestorm that was happening in the media with all of this, it was just all too much. Her feeling less than, and that was another thing that they got into as well. I'm going to jump around just so y'all know. I'm not going to give y'all everything the way that I would normally give y'all everything, because baby, I got to get my notes together so that I can give y'all a whole shaboing boing bang on Miss Jane, okay? Because this was a lot to take in, honey. It was a lot to take in. It was a lot of trying to understand what was happening and what was going on when we're being repetitive, all right? Everybody in the courtroom, in the overflow, was like, We were trying to take notes. We were trying to salvage notes out of it. But anyway, she said that that was all too much, okay? And Jane, she sat up there, she said, yes, she was jealous when it came down to Carisha, which she already has admitted to that. But she was like, the reason why is because she just felt like, what are they worth? What do they do? Now, this was something that she said when she got on Redirect with AUSA Comey. She was like, you know, watching these girls. Let me flip to that page right there because it was a lot. And what they did not do is they did not talk about Baby Love's mom. But as y'all know, Baby Love was conceived during the time that she was with Diddy. So it was more than just that. It was Gina. It was Young Miami. It was Baby Love's mom. It was the girl Jess. Like, that's 4 females. That's 4 other females that she's going into these dark hotel nights under the red lights, having train ran down on a choo-choo for Diddy. And she's just like, what the hell? Like, hold on one second. Hold on one second. They got into the house. Comey was coming in fast. Yes, okay, Comey came in and she just like lifted up everything. I was so happy. I don't know about y'all, but I was so happy. All right. Let me get to this part of this for y'all. All right, so I'm looking for the part where I noted that Jane was sobbing because that really, like, I'm like, okay, as a woman, I can understand where she's coming from with that one. Because, baby, okay, forget it. I could just tell y'all what she said. She said that she was sitting back wondering what it was that these girls had that she didn't have, okay? Why is it that they got to be loved out in the public, that they got to get showered and adorned? Ran to the bar. You are my new fave. Excellent reporting. Thank you. Tranquility is a must. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you. So she's like, she's watching these girls. She's watching them get all of these expensive vacations. She's watching them be showered with expensive gifts. And I'm trying to find where she said it verbatim, but I guess I remember, so I can just tell y'all what she said. But, oh, right here. Jane said, why did I have to be degraded for your love? Why me? Why was I the one that was being forced to carry all of this pressure? Why was I the one that had to violate my body for you? I was jealous of the woman because they seemed to be free and I had this pressure. They didn't have to hold the pressure that I did. It went, why was she the one being asked to hold all of it? Being with all of those men. She didn't like doing what she did on those nights. But that became a requirement for her just to get his love. Why did I have to do that? These girls weren't doing what I was doing. But yet they're reaping the benefits of being around you. They're getting your attention. They're getting your time. They're getting your love. And all I'm getting is used, my body abused. And I'm doing all of this for you. Let me tell y'all something. The one thing that a lot of people are quick to say is that there's no accountability held for the females. Let me tell you what I love about Jane. What I love about all of the females who have testified. Thank you for the flower. What I love about all of the females who have testified. They have all had a level of accountability that they placed on themselves. Jane was saying she was angry with herself for allowing this. Jane said, I opened a Pandora's box that I couldn't close the door to. Jane said that when she was trying to break up with Diddy at one point in time, when she was trying to break up with him, she was talking to one of her homegirls, and one of her homegirls said to her, well, you allowed it, so what did you expect to happen? How did you think that this was going to end? She admits that the way that this thing started, the way that she allowed this into their relationship, that she knew that it wasn't going to end on a good note. But she loved him. What are we calling them? Because in the eyes of the law, they are a victim. And Jane even said today at the end that she was testifying. She was not testifying for fame. She was not testifying for any type of celebrity. She was testifying not even for justice. She was testifying because she was subpoenaed. That's why she was testifying, okay? That's why she was testifying. But anyway, let's get back to it, all right? Let me just give y'all this little rundown of stuff, okay? So what Teeny was doing was Teeny was counting out all of the stuff, you know, the birthday recap again, you know, Jane, Jane resented how Diddy, you know, had made her set up this birthday thing for her to go through all of that. They talked about everything. They talked about everything. So you guys, I really just don't feel like going through a whole bunch of what we've already heard. Come for a second. Come for a second. Come have a seat. Because I don't want people to think that I'm fibbing. If you don't want to get on camera, you don't have to get on camera. But am I telling the truth or am I lying when I say that to give them a recap of today would be the same recap as yesterday, as Wednesday, as Tuesday, as Monday? That it's going to be the same information all over again, except for a few things.
The only difference is the bickering in between that the council
went through, right?
Are engaged in over exhibits.
Right, that's it.
The exciting part.
Right. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much. I'm Henny. That girl Henny. That girl. Yes. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow. He's in the courtroom every day, right along with me. He's hearing the same thing. So that's why I'm saying to y'all, we're just going to skip around. Because the only thing that was happening was that the prosecution and the defense, baby, they was going back and forth because they was trying to get, Comey was trying to get this note in. She just wanted to get this one line. She wanted to get this one line from out of the notes admitted into evidence so that she could bring that up. Because while Comey is over here trying to say like, oh, well, you know, you had these dates. You did go on dates. You did have your time where you cuddled with him and y'all didn't end in a hotel night. And, you know, he did spend that time with you. You did go 2 months without having a hotel night and you were just spending time with him. Comey was making a big deal about that part because, you know, Jane had said that every time that she was with him that it ended in a hotel night. But in the beginning of Jane's testimony, Jane told us that probably about, what did she say? She said it was like probably, like it was 30% of the time that it would end and result in a hotel night for her. But that there was like 30% of the, it was 30% of the time that she would spend time with Diddy. And the rest of that time, it would be with these hotel nights with these escorts. And she said that 30% that she was giving was including after these hotel nights happened. After they would go and she would be sleeping with all of these dudes, Diddy would then sleep with her and they would cuddle and they would recover from taking all of the DRUs that they were taking, okay? So, Driscoll, he seems like he is fresh out of law school, but baby, he is, listen, he is not to be played with. He wanted to make a record of that. I'm gonna get y'all what he said, because he said what he said. But basically, all right, so what had happened was they were trying to bring this text into play because Diddy had said that in one of his messages that he didn't know that Jane felt this way for the 3 years that they were together, that he had no idea that that's how she felt. But Jane has a text message or a note in her thing where that contradicts everything because she's been telling him. But again, there's a lot of texting that tells that, where she's talking about how she doesn't want to be subjected to being in those hotel rooms with all of those men. She doesn't want to keep violating her body like that. How sex was sacred to her, but she was only doing what she was doing for him. That's what the text messages say, and the judge even acknowledged that, and the judge was saying that there's so many text messages of her telling him that she didn't want to do these hotel nights. So for him to be sitting up here talking about he didn't know, no, baby, was you too high to remember? Let's ask the real question. Was you too high off the 2C for you to remember? They were talking about around the time when they were attempting to break up with each other, which was like December of 2023. So again, back to what I was saying to y'all. After all of that stuff had happened with the Carisha birthday and the Cassie stuff and all of that, Jane was like, she had to take a break and step back from all of this, because for her, she said she sat and read Cassie's lawsuit, and it was 3 of those pages that she's sitting here just looking at. And it's like, this is just her life. She's reading her life. She felt like she was the only one that had gone through all of this with him. But come to find out that this is not just something that was isolated to just her. This is something that he's been doing. And then all of the time that he was with Cassie, and how long he had done all of this to Cassie. Like, she really was like, she needed a break, right? So she stepped back from him. And she blocked him. She blocked everybody that was around him. All right. But then, you know, something happened where his mom had gotten sick. And so she unblocked him and she started talking to him again. But she says, like, during this time after she had unblocked him, that they started like being more vocal. She was being more vocal about things. He was being more vocal about things. And that it was just like a really weird time for the both of them, because it's like they were trying to be together, but at the same time, it's like talking about a lot of the trauma. It was being met with a lot of dismissiveness, okay? She would express how she felt, and he would like either rush off or the conversation would never be completed. So once again, it's more of the same that's going on as far as him not giving a damn about any of her feelings, okay? At the time Diddy told Jane, she never had told him that's how he felt. Teeny tried to slip Jane. What did she try to do? Okay. Teeny asked if Jane was reminded by the government if Jane had already expressed to him how she felt. So they went into questioning her, since they could not bring that into evidence, and they played an audio, and in the audio you hear Diddy, and Diddy is like, you know, we should focus on what we will do to get better. What do you want me to give you to move on? This is what Diddy says to her in the audio. What do you want me to give you to move on? I don't want to be in this relationship if this is how you feel about me. You're beautiful and you're graceful. And he's basically like laying it on, and he's asking her like, how much is it gonna cost me? Like, what is it that you need in order for us to be able to move on? Because if you're feeling like, and listen to what he's saying, if you're feeling like this relationship is so toxic, and you're feeling like I'm such a bad person, and you are so unhappy with me, then what do I have to give you for us to go our separate ways? I'm surprised she never asked. My first question would have been, Ninja, who else did hotel nights for you, especially if he had multiple women? I'm not buying that she didn't know he was a hoe. Well, Angela, he told her up front that he was polygamous. The problem was he did not tell her that he was going to be putting his polygamy on display for all the world to see. She had no idea that he was going to go and post pictures with Gina, post pictures with Carisha. She didn't know all of that. She thought everything was still going to be on the low. She didn't even, and from the way I'm gathering it, she didn't think that anybody else was doing these types of debaucheries for him, because at the end of the day, she was saying that, you know, he would hit her up and ask her to send him something explicit, ask her to send him videos, and she'd be like, no, because you over there with that boring bitch, and you want me to send you my stuff, send you our stuff, so you can get hard. Tell them to get you hard. Tell them to do it. Tell them to go do some debauchery. Okay? But anyway, so Diddy was asking her, you know, let's get to a solution when it came to that. And that was all in the audio. So then a couple days later, he messaged her. She must not have messaged him back because they never talked about there being any communication in between that. So he must not have messaged her back. So he messages her a couple days later and he's like, what's the solution? And then he goes on to say, we're going into a new year and I don't want to fight. So Jane's response to him is, I tolerated and demeaned myself for years. And for you, Puff, please don't discredit me. Because it's like he's not even like acknowledging or like he's not saying nothing to anything that she's saying. So she's just like, yo, my feelings are valid. Like I've done this thing. Now, I will say this. What you choose to do with your body, that is a choice that you choose to do. When you're doing this out of love, I'm going to say it, like there was no self-love here. But how could there be self-love when she's been in 2 prior abusive relationships, allegedly, because this is what she said. And there's been no healing in the process of any of that. You just went from one relationship to the next and didn't bother to heal. So now you find yourself in this situation. Now you're at a space where you said you're in therapy and you're trying to express and find your self-love. This is why it is so important for you to heal and take care of you and express self-love. I am so serious. So his response to her is, I never discredited you. And so Jane goes, you know, she said she tolerated and she did a lot in those rooms to lift him up. Now, baby, when she said that, I said, hold on. How are we lifting him up when you laying down and these other dudes is coming and y'all in these debauchery nights? How are you lifting him up as you getting smashed down in these rooms? Whoo, Zippy, thank you for the super chat. She said, let me say this. To all the men worried about size, Combs had women who actually loved him despite having a Tootsie Roll. Now you know size doesn't matter. Size doesn't stop love. Even when it's demented love. Henny, breathe. Oh, I'm not breathing. I'm just going. My bad. But thank you for the super chat, Zippy. Anyway, so they were bringing up how under direct that Jane had testified, you know, that she wanted change, like she had changed. She started feeling resentment for him. And I don't know about y'all. I do have a predominantly female audience. Ooh, 444, y'all. That is a powerful number. Y'all hit that, double tap that screen, double tap that screen, double tap that screen, double tap that screen. All right, so she started building resentment for him. Okay, and I don't know anybody that wouldn't build a resentment if every time I try to talk to you about how I'm feeling about something that you're doing to me and you keep like undermining it and making it seem like it's nothing, it's gonna be a level of resentment that gets there. And I want to say this, the jealousy, she admits that the jealousy was there. But again, on the flip side of all of that, jealousy is honestly not a part of the case. So jealousy is not a charge. You cannot go to jail for making somebody jealous. You cannot go to jail. Hey, all right, and you cannot go to jail because you're cheating on somebody. I mean, even though there's some states that is illegal, you can't do that, but that's not in the state of New York. Hold on one second, y'all. You want me to? Oh, hey, y'all.
What's up, y'all? This is my girl right here.
All right.
She pays very good attention, and usually her information be on point. So
he said usually because I know there's a little, you know.
Yeah, she bumping, she run into a little, but she usually on point. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No problem. Wait a minute, Charlucci. I'm gonna mute right. Hey, you saw me? You subbed? Oh, thank you so much. Now, if you don't know who Charlucci is Diddy's people, okay? So let's get back to what we was talking about. You cannot go to jail for making somebody jealous. You cannot go to jail for cheating on somebody. In some states you can, but you have to be married. You cannot go to jail for running game. You can't go to jail for that. So we all know that. So for everybody who is saying that this is personal stuff that is coming out. There's a lot of things that you look at it and you're like, well, I could see that, and I could see that, and I could see that. But what I am going to say to y'all is she did admit to being jealous, okay? She did admit to it. Now, feeling that resentment, that comes from that jealousy. Jealousy brings on resentment. When you're watching someone get a Maybach, you're in a hotel, you just slept with 3 men plus the man that you love, and she's getting a Maybach, and you're sitting on ice because your punana is swollen. You're gonna feel away. He's going to London, and we just finished a night of debauchery. You just told me that you did a quick turnaround birthday, but you said there was no intimate relations that happened, yet you on a podcast talking about you was doing intimate relations for 48 hours with this girl, and this girl is talking about he don't sleep, and I know you don't sleep because I know what we do when we do how we do it, because we be up for days. And she's talking about you don't go to sleep, and she can't make you tap out, and she thought she was going to put you to sleep. Meanwhile, I'm sitting on a pack of ice because I done had some King Kong slong that done knocked my cervix all the way back to my jugular. And you think there's not going to be some jealousy or resentment there? Tell me when I'm lying. Man, listen. If I was to read for y'all some of those explicit text messages that was when they was fantasy playing, and she was talking about she wants the escort dude to push past, I don't know, she said push past my cervix and do all of this stuff, and doing this to the other dude while you rubbing hot oil on my man in the boat. Baby, yikes is an understatement. Yikes is a damn understatement. And it gotta hurt. So now do you understand what I'm saying? Your cervix is sitting in your jugular, and you're sitting on ice because your punana's swollen, because it done been ram bam thank you ma'am all weekend long. And now he off Gina done got a necklace. I told you I wanted this bracelet that said love. You went and got it for me, and now you done went and found a matching necklace to the bracelet that I picked out, and you gave it to her, and she's posting on social media, and I'm seeing it on social media, and I'm looking at my wrist like, oh, so this bracelet don't mean nothing to you. It means everything to me because I love you. Anyway, she told him that she was confused, right? And to answer his question, she said she wanted $100,000 a month. Oh, she wanted her rent paid for 2 years. And she wanted to be compensated for all the possible money that she could have been making over those 3 years while she was sitting back being his little sex worker. That's what she told him. So now if you hear that elsewhere and somebody's saying that she was trying to shake him down, no, he asked her. He did ask her. How much is it going to cost for us to go our separate ways, for us to break up? Because I don't want you to be here if that's how you feel it. But as soon as he say that, it'd be something else, and they end up back up in the debauchery, under the lights. They be all of the lights are here, baby. Extra bright, I want y'all to see this. Under them red lights. I think I don't ever want to see a red light again. I'm triggered and traumatized by this. Ooh, Terry said he purchased the jewelry set and distributed amongst his girls. Baby. Okay. Jane at this point in time says she wanted to unalive herself. Why did she want to unalive herself? Because of all of the debauchery that she had done. All of the stuff that she had put herself through. All of this that she was doing to try to get this man. And she still didn't manage to get this man. she still couldn't get this man and make this man her man. Diddy was for the streets, y'all. Diddy was for the streets, y'all. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. I couldn't help myself, I'm sorry. So, they spoke about that $9K payment that she received back in January from the friend Bear, okay? Remember that Bear? Because let me tell y'all, Diddy's jealousy was on display, but we gonna get to that, okay? She went to Vegas with her friend. It was a rapper close to Diddy. It was the girlfriend's birthday, so they had a party. They were at the top of the music industry. And Diddy had did an album with this person. Hold on one second, because I'm about to figure this out. They didn't tell us that we can't testify to that. They didn't say we can't say nothing. That artist is not under a pseudonym. Okay? There's no pseudonym up in there. I know you fucking lying. Oh, Lord, don't tell me that. Because if it's over there, it's gone. Oh, come on, Henny. I don't remember even pulling that one out. I don't remember doing that. Oh, and this one spilled in my bag. Yeah. Oh, please, Lord Jesus, don't tell me. Oh, I was about to have a whole ass fit. I thought I lost my phone again, y'all. I was about to say, that's it, Henny quit. Now I just sound like your wishful thing. What sounds like my wishful thinking? You tell me what's wishful thinking about what I said, because what I said is what she said. I just repeated. They said it, I'm repeating it, okay? There was something I was grabbing this phone for, but I'm about to put this phone in my bag. Sure am. Yo, all of these little bugs are getting on my nerves. I hate the summertime in New York. I hate it. They got these little itty bitty bugs that bite you. And I'm glistening. Y'all see I'm glistening because it's humid. All right. But anyway, that's what we was talking about. All right. Anton had the relationship with the rapper. I told y'all about this debauchery already. They talked about Jane introducing Cabral to them. They went back to the birthday. Anyway, let's get to the good parts. Let's get to the good parts, because I just don't feel like going through all of this all over again. Okay, so finally, we get all the way to the end of the day. We're going to skip ahead, okay? We're going to skip ahead because I don't feel like repeating nothing. I'm over that, okay? Child, well, they better not like my pheromones, honey. Anyway, so Driscoll and Comey went back and forth again because they was trying to get all of them notes in there, and the judge finally said no. It's not happening. We're not getting those in. So guess what? Because the judge denied Comey from getting those damn text messages in, child, when I tell you Comey came out swinging, baby, she was rapid firing. You could tell she was pissed off that she didn't get those exhibits in that she wanted in, and all it was she wanted one line. She just wanted one line. That's it. And the judge said no, because we already got multiple exhibits in here that already attest to the fact that there had already been multiple conversations that had been had regarding whether he knew or didn't know, and Jane was telling him about stuff before Cassie lawsuit even hit the ground running, y'all. So yeah, she had been telling this man since 2021 that she didn't like. Okay, we get it. It's the damn police bus, y'all. Something is biting me up. Anyway, I gotta get me some bug spray. Yes, it is. It's hot. It's hot. Some of you people were raised in a lab as an experiment, and it's y'all get them likes up. Get them likes up. That is disgusting right there. All right, so anyway, so Comey came in hot, baby, and Comey was like, okay, let's get to these text messages. So she went to June 19th of 2022, okay? And it says, I know what you want, baby, but I'm not in the mood. Don't want to make you mad. So she's like, well, why would you say that you didn't want to make him mad? And she was like, because usually whenever I rejected a hotel night, I did put some oil on this morning, but that should have worn off by now. Anyway, she was saying whenever I reject a hotel night, he usually gets upset. So I didn't want to make him mad, right? Diddy's response was like, you know, that it was all good, baby. Now here comes the explosion. Kaboom. All right? Because she goes, take me to the next exhibit. Da, 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 da. She says, this is a text message from Mr. Combs to Paul. And he says, June 19th, she says she didn't want a hotel room. This is a hotel night, and this is around the time that they were supposedly to be laying up and they wasn't doing nothing. He wasn't trying to get no debauchery going. They were supposed to be just doing them and having fun and loving one another, and yeah. And he texts the escort Paul, dun, 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 and he tells the escort Paul, I'm gonna need you to persuade her. If you could get her, we in there. I know, I gotta get some peppermint oil. Ooh, lemon balm. Might have had to do this from the car with the AC on, baby. Listen, I should have waited till I got back to the house and did all of this. But in the meantime and in between time, did you hear what I said? I don't know. I don't know where you been, Swagalow. But yes, I'ma say it again for the ones who just came in and the ones in the back who might have missed that. Diddy was trying to set up a freak off. Jane texts him back and says, I know what you want, baby, but I'm not in the mood. Don't want to upset you or don't want to make you mad. And they asked her why would she make him mad, and she said because whenever she rejected a freak off or a hotel night, that he would get upset. But in the meantime and in between time, she's saying this to him and he's saying all good. And he goes and messages the escort Paul and says, I'm gonna need you to persuade her. If you can get her to, meaning getting her to do the hotel night, we in there. Remember, Paul, I can't even really say, I don't know what Paul was, because Paul was his trainer. Remember? But they was paying Paul to be a part of the Nights of Debauchery. Not you trying to get the third party to convince me, to persuade me. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this. When Garagos got up there, when Teeny Garagos got up there and tried to do her her recross examination, she was like, okay, but were you persuaded into going? Teeny, that ain't the point, honey. That ain't the point, honey. The point is, him sent a text message and him said, persuade her. When I tell you, Jane was pissed. I don't know why the prosecution would do that, but Jane was pissed. Wouldn't you be pissed? They went through a whole bunch of other text threads and all that other stuff. But then they got into the fact that they had argued about the bracelet in front of Paul. because remember they were in Turks, and she was messaging Paul, okay? And this is what she said to Paul, and this was on March 19th of 2023. Remember, Cassie's lawsuit hadn't hit yet. Cassie's lawsuit hit November of 2023, and she's talking to Paul, and she said to him, thanks again, 24 hours, no breaks, was going with the flow to perform. I'm not a robot, just a mix of tired, hungry, sleepy, and sore. Remember, she said that it didn't go well with Paul, and because it didn't go well with Paul, she ended up calling Cabral in. All right, but this is the text message that she sent to Paul explaining to him why it didn't go well. Okay, she thanked him for coming out. She said she had already been going for 24 hours with no breaks. And she was trying to perform. She's trying to push through to perform, okay? But she was tired, she was hungry, sleepy, and sore. She then goes on to say, then to insult me 3 times about my bracelet and demean it. He never did that before. Him demeaning that bracelet was just him trying to push me to perform and to go harder. In that moment, I felt like, I don't even know. She felt like I can't even read my handwriting because I was trying to catch it. But she was basically saying that she's not a robot. 24 hours of drugs and no sleep. Okay? And what had happened was they argued in front of Paul about the bracelet. And then Diddy told her to apologize to Paul. But the whole time, he's not even listening to her, taking into account what she's saying. He's making it seem like the bracelet was nothing. It was nothing to him, but it was something. It meant everything to her. Okay? Turks was supposed to be something for him to make up for the fact that they did debauchery on her birthday, and then he took Young Miami to Turks for her birthday. So he was supposed to be making this up to her, and it was supposed to be just them. But now here is Paul. All right? Yes, she used the word perform. And she was using the word perform way before any lawsuit had ever happened. Way before Cassie filed her lawsuit and got it settled. Way before the feds were even investigating, she was using the word perform. Now, I'm going to explain to you why that word perform, and I'm so glad that you highlighted that, Angela, I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you why I'm so glad that you highlighted that. Because Jane said specifically that when it came down to her being on those tapes, that's what she was doing. She was performing for her lover. She was performing for Diddy. She was performing. She didn't enjoy it, but she was putting on a show for him. So now, when you go all the way back to around this time in 2023, you hear her using the word perform. Perform is putting on an act. See you tomorrow, Candor. He was supposed to shower her with love, okay? When she sent loving messages to him, because they were asking her, like, okay, and explain, why would you send him loving messages after all of these hotel nights? Because we heard message after message after message, even voice notes between her and Diddy after one of these nights of debauchery. And she was saying that a night of debauchery, in order for her to be able to compartmentalize it and separate. And remember, I told y'all that this is what she was doing. That when she would talk about it, it seemed to me like she was separating the debauchery from the time she got with Diddy. And she said when she would be telling him that she had so much fun, she would be talking about the time she was spending with him. She would be focused, laser focused, hyper focused on the time with him. She was like, when I would do those things and I would give him those types of, oh, baby, I love spending time with you. Oh, I had so much fun with you. Oh, I love you so much. Thank you for the detail that you put into things. It was him that she was talking. She was very clear. She said this for the past few days. That's what she kept saying. Everything was for him. She wasn't even looking at the hotel nights or even trying to acknowledge them. She was separating them. So they started talking about like when she would give like subtle clues to him, like subtle little things to him to let him know that, good night, Big Mike. She would give subtle little cues to let him know that, you know, hey, I'm tired, I'm hungry, like I want to stop the freak off, or I want to stop the hotel night. And she's, you know, Teeny Garagos on the recross after Comey, she was saying to her, well, when you would tell him that you were hungry, you would get food, right? And she was like, the sex would stop, right? So Jane was like, no. She was like, but you would get food, right? And she's like, yeah, but that's not what I wanted. What I wanted was for it to stop and for us to go home. Like, I didn't want to keep going. So basically, she would tell him that she was hungry, and while he would get her food, she would still be doing the do until the food got there, or I don't know. This is crazy work to me, okay? Now, she said just like she had subtle clues, Diddy had subtle clues too that let her know that he wanted a night of debauchery. His little text messages about, what are you thinking about? What are you trying to do? I'm coming home. I'm so horny. Oh, me so horny. So horny. Me love you long time. Those types of little text messages, she would know that that's what he wanted, okay? At one point in time, they were talking about how Diddy said he didn't want escorts at his house, yet on 3 different occasions, he had an escort at One Star Island, and 2 separate occasions, he had escorts at 2 Star Island. So, yeah. They asked Jane, did she remember every hotel night? And she said no. Then she was asked, do you want to remember the hotel nights? And she said no. Okay? So when she got back on that redirect, at first it seemed like everything was cool. Until there was a question about the time frame when there was no hotel. She's like, isn't it true that between June and July, I believe it was, there were no hotel nights? Jane was like, thank God. Then she says, she asked her, do you remember what happened in June? So now remember, that's triggering, because June 19th, that's when he sent them messages. He sent the message to Paul about trying to, you know, persuade her into going into a hotel night. And here comes Teeny asking her about June. And so Jane snapped back. And when I say she had an attitude, she was like, at this point, I don't remember. Like, she was like, and she was snippy, okay? Jeannie was asking her, you know, about the, well, you know, you got the $150,000 for over 3 years. And she was like, is that what my body was worth? That's what my body's worth? Back to this, that's what my body was worth. But you know what I was thinking? The way she was talking in court, all soft and sultry, I believe that's the way she talks to Diddy. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. Because when she came in the first few days, she was dressed in regular court attire. When These last 2 days, yesterday I told y'all she had on the pantsuit with the blazer and the tatas. You could see down her jacket when she went to go sit down or stand up. You could see down the jacket. Then today she came into court and she had on the blazer, no cami underneath it, no none of that. You could see the lace from the bra poking up, okay? And at one point in time, Diddy was just sitting there looking at her. Like just zoned out looking at her, okay? But I believe a lot of this stuff was for him. She was talking, some things that she was saying was for him. And today I really feel like when that 150,000 came up, because he was passing notes, he was whispering, he was doing all of that with his attorneys, and then all of a sudden, Teeny gets back up on this and she starts bringing up that $150,000 that she got over the course of 3.5 years, and she's like, is that what my body is worth? She's talking to Diddy. She's not talking to Teeny. She's not talking to us. She's talking to him. Even when it came down to the bag, the Chanel bag and the Bottega bag, they had to have gotten that story from Diddy. And she's taking shots at him. Okay? And I say all of that because at the end of this, she got up, she had an attitude, but when she got ready to leave, she hugged AUSA Comey and she hugged defense attorney Teeny Garagos and walked out the door. She hugged both of them and walked out the door. And I took that as her hugging them, telling them, like, you know, it wasn't about y'all. She never recovered from that text message between Diddy and Paul. She had never seen that text message before. She hugged the government attorney, AUSA Comey, and she hugged Teeny Garagos. Those were the two attorneys that did her questioning. But see, now you got to think about it like this. If she's snapping on the stand and being short with them, I felt like she hugged them to let them know that it wasn't about them. I really feel like those snaps that she was doing about if that's what her body was worth was for him. When you hug somebody, you let somebody know that everything is okay, right? You got a disagreement with somebody, you hug them. Everything is all good. I feel like that's what she was doing. However, I'm still not against the fact that he's paying her damn attorney. That still doesn't sit right with me, but yes, it was. And sad thing is, he doesn't care. I don't know if he doesn't care or not, because I caught him looking at her at different points in time, and I don't know if he doesn't care. The question of the matter is, how much of him cares, and how much does he remember between all of the DR Uggs that he was using? We've got to remember that that is a part of this. Gotta remember that that plays a big part in all of this, because he was still using them. He was still using them, okay? Even when he gave us that apology, you know, I'm gonna tell you like this. I can't call it right now. I can't call it yet. It's still too soon. I ain't about to tell no people and none of that stuff, okay? When I came into this having read a lot of the reports, the court docs on Diddy. I came in this watching a lot of the documentaries that were done. I came in this with a lot of that in my mind. And as I'm hearing these stories and I'm watching, now I don't know if this is fact, so don't go reporting it like fact, but you know, I was watching King today. Maybe he was tired. Maybe he was overwhelmed, but at one point in time, he was sitting with his head down and then he laid his head on his grandmother's shoulder. This has to take a toll on them. It has to. Going in here day after day, seeing people that you pretty much grew up around. Honestly, I see the X trafficking, and if not, I definitely see the transportation to engage in prostitution. I do see that. I don't think Diddy's gonna walk away scot-free. I don't. I don't. The sad part about it is, regardless to what happens with this story, while we're all caught up in innocence or guilt, regardless to what happens, this is still a family that this is going to affect. Like, you got to think, Justin, Quincy, and I believe even King, and maybe even the twins, which by the way, the girls have not been back, and I'm glad. I'm glad the girls have been kept away. But they've watched Cassie. They know who Cassie is. Cassie was a part of their life for a very long time. They know who Jane is. Jane's been to the house. Jane's been around the family. That's one thing I will say. Diddy bring his girls around the family. And so I'm wondering how this feels for them to be hearing some of this stuff that was going on that they didn't know. You know what I'm saying? His name is Christian, but they call him King. Like I told y'all, I wonder how they feel knowing that they were told that Cassie caught a black eye in the club because they was fighting. To turn around and find out that wasn't true, that their dad did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Angela, we not even gonna pay none of that no mind, honey. We just gonna keep it moving. Y'all know who I'm talking about when I say King. It's a lot. Then I'm watching his mom, and then you know I'm a mom. And so, Lovely T, that's you. Hey, girl. All right, and you? Y'all, Lovely T is here, honey. I ain't gonna put her on the camera. Anyway. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'm watching his mom come in and out of here, and that's her son. Like, push all of that to the side for a second and really just think about this. They're people. They're human. And she's shuffling into the court. Not shuffling like scuffling like a little old lady. She's not doing that. But she's getting into this court. And she's watching this stuff. She's hearing all of this stuff. And I'm just like, I really want to know how the family is feeling. How are they holding up? How is all of this weighing on them. Like, what is this for them? I cannot confirm nor deny that B2B. Cream, don't get in here cutting up. I gotta come up with a good code name if I want to get me a Oprah or Gayle King. You know what? Okay, respect. I can respect that. It affects the whole family. It does. It's rumored Diddy saw this. It is, because they did do a documentary and say that his mom, you know, it was a brothel. I don't know. I don't have those facts, but that's what we've heard. There's a lot of rumors that we hear that I'm actually not going to talk about. If y'all notice, since we've been covering this trial, I have not talked about anything that has been rumored. Anything that's not being talked about in the court, I'm not talking about it. Well, honestly, today I was aiming to try to get into the big courtroom, but I've been hearing some stories. Like, there was 2 ladies that were here that were from Texas, and they said that they were here early. They gave their name, but somehow or another, they ended up not being able to get into the courtroom. They talked about how they got skipped by people on the line as well. Like how there was a person in front of them, and then a couple people came up to that person, and they ended up not making it in. So then there's that's going on. Well, Cassie said that he did not sleep with men. Jane never said that he slept with men. She did say that there were times when he would get involved in the freak-offs with her. And it would be her and him and another guy, whatever. But there was never any talk about him with another man in this trial. And Cassie and Jane, they would be the ones that would put that out there if that was true. So I'm starting to feel like maybe those rumors ain't true. Yes, I have a press pass, but for me, okay, so here's the thing. There's 14 public seats, right? When you don't have a press pass, you go to those 14 seats. When you have a press pass, there's only 21 press seats. So you still have to get here early, and then there's still the major news outlets that pay to have a seat for their anchors to actually sit in the courtroom every day. So it's a lot of politics that go into getting into that big courtroom. No, they weren't line holders, but I can't tell you. I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to get into no foolery or any of that with anybody. And I'm so serious. I'm not going to talk about that. Whew. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to talk about anything that is rumored that's not being spoken on in the court. So Meek has not come up in the court. None of that Justin Bieber stuff. None of that Usher stuff. Nothing about kids in the tunnels. Nothing about any of that. No Little Rod. No, none of that has come up in this courtroom. Okay? Little Rod was there the first day, to my understanding. Tyrone Blackburn was out there lurking around the courtroom. He was out there yesterday and I missed it. He walked right past me and then I was like, oh shoot, that's Tyrone Blackburn. But that's about it. That's about it. But it's been a very long, exhausting day. Victim 5, I believe, was Chef Jordan. Like the opening statements, when you read them, I believe that was her. But I don't know if she's still testifying or not. There is another agent that's coming tomorrow. You guys, I I'm tired. I gotta see how I feel in the morning when I wake up. I'm very tired. I don't know if there's gonna be 2 other celebs coming or not. I can only speak on what I know. I can't speak on what I don't know. I don't know anything. I haven't heard anything about celebs. I guess they're silent protesting today. Hold on, you guys. Oh, I know where I put it. I've got too much going on. I think they're silent protesting today, but the protest is still going. Everyone is quiet. She got a sign that says the system isn't broken, it's working exactly how it was designed. And I can agree with that. So, at the end of the day, you guys, that was Diddy court for today. As y'all see, like I said, they're silent protesting right now. And I'm about to take my behind down on this train. These are all of the courts that are down here. My face is red and sweaty, and I am very tired. But I hope that I informed y'all and entertained y'all. I love y'all, and I appreciate all of the support and love that you guys give. Welcome to all of the new subscribers. Welcome to the bar, okay? This has been your favorite doc tender, that girl Henny, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace, everybody.